Swing low, sweet chariot, come forth to carry me home. Breathe slow, child of Harriet, them patty rolls done taken our home. The city is singing. Luxury apartments erected like temples their shimmer, preserved by the salt of palms leaning into their walls long enough to be frisked and hauled away. Swing low as you dare. The children of Harriet have dodged that sweet chariot through time so much that it has left sugar on our lips, and resilience tastes sweeter than rose hips to emaciated mouths. We, the salt of displacement, the sugar of plantations, have long endured the taste of home. We've come to take it. We, the salt and sugar of this city.
In the history of capitalism, urbanization has been a very, very crucial feature. Cities have to be constructed and reconstructed in such a way as to perpetuate capital accumulation rather than to satisfy human needs. Capitalism is not doing very well for the mass of the people who are supposed to be, if you like, benefited by capitalist development. The only group that is still doing extremely well is, of course, the very, very rich. This is not an accident. This is actually a feature of capitalist history for the last 250 years. I think it's very important that we not just think about right to the city as a matter of resistance, but start to think about the right to the city as a movement of the whole population to say another city is possible. That idea, at the same time as it strengthens all of the particular struggles, be it over mass transit, or be it over public space, or be it over gentrification, or be it over employment practices or immigrant rights. Those particular struggles have to be fought out in their own terms, but at the same time, is there a way to unite them? And that seems to me the spirit of the right to the city is about trying to unite those struggles in one political common struggle.
What we're doing here is not what is typically done in organizing networks in the United States. You know, we're thinking in the morning, we're doing action in the afternoon, and I think we're probably going to be partying, eating, and having a good time in the nighttime. So those three things, thought and reflection, actual action in the streets and with our people, and then building unity with us in terms of community and social relations, is not what organizing has been in the United States for the last 30 years. You know, essentially, we were 5 years ago at the height of the bubble of the US housing market. Gentrification was rampant in many of our cities. Folks were getting pushed out. And we were involved in, the grassroots organizing sector were involved in a ton of different struggles. So when Right to the City came together in that convening, one of the things that the founders recognized was that there was a need for a frame to bring all of this together. This came from Western Marxism and this Parisian dude named Henry Lefebvre. How does that result? Henry Lefebvre, and how do we, you know, what does that have to do with communities of color, with history of what we bring from our own histories? And I think we essentially said this is a frame, not a dogma. And what we had found, and in the Right to the City concept, was really saying essentially that no, it's not just about workers in factories, that in fact the city was the factory. That the city struggle was the class struggle, that the city class struggle was the capital struggle, that formation and creation of cities, how cities worked in the global economy, that was the game. How do we actually understand what we're experiencing and doing in a different way? How do we understand what we're up to, not just being about the MTA, but how about all of those forces that were controlling the MTA? We're trying to reshape the city and our people. And so how do we have a strategy that understands and raises the consciousness to that it's both about a transit fight, but it's also a fight about how they are trying to redesign the city and for who.
comunidad. Eres una agencia pública y como agencia pública tienes que respetar a todos nosotros. El día de hoy estamos demostrando que tenemos poder. Este poder vamos a luchar por devolver, por tomar nuestras calles y tomar nuestra ciudad. ¿Cómo lo vamos a lograr? Juntos. La medida J lo que quiere hacer es jodernos. ¿Ok? Entonces, no vamos a permitir que se apruebe la medida J. ¿Ok? ¿Lo vamos a permitir? ¡No! El poder de la gente va a callar tu boca. Es lo que lucharemos por tarifas bajas. Regresará nuestra movilidad. Un millón de horas de servicio lo vamos a lograr tenerlo en nuestras calles. I don't believe it.
No, el pueblo no se vende. Las propiedades públicas no se venden, es de nuestra comunidad. Necesitamos vivienda justa. Necesitamos unos trabajos dignos para nuestra comunidad. Nuestra comunidad está organizada, ¿sabes? Para derrotarte. Ellos se van a organizar y van a caminar. Claro que sí. Queremos justicia ambiental. Y juntos, super pasajera y super inquilina,
de autobuses, por tarifas económicas y sobre todo por derechos civiles y derechos humanos. Queremos vivienda justa.
Put this on the lot across the street, and basically it says that we're saying that the government agencies, the MTA and the former CRA should return to the community the land they took and no longer lead for the development of their projects. That the community shall develop and control this land to make sure a portion of it is immediately assigned for green public recreation space and accessible to the people who live around it. That a portion of this land has to be assigned and fully subsidized as housing for extremely low-income families who require access to public transit. We demand that the MTA and other public agencies that took over this land, that they will provide the resources, technical material, and otherwise to make the proposals developed by the community viable in our community. We demand that all these assets and projects should be directed and benefiting the most poor and the people who have been displaced, lost their jobs, or impacted negatively as a result of these projects. These resources shall be managed in a participatory manner by local stakeholders and people affected by these projects. The MTA shall turn over the station properties to local community boards to create programs and projects that benefit the local community at the social, economic, and cultural level, that provide spaces for street vending, cultural celebration, recreation, fitness, and embellishment. And for all future projects, we demand that the MTA will ensure the right of return for residents and that they give reparations for those who have been displaced.